1-877-777-NEWS.
Welcome to World News from St. Paul. Tonight, an ABC News exclusive. John McCain, on the day of his nomination, one-on-one, talks of his running mate, his opponent, and his concept of change.
I'm telling you, to the old boy network, they better look out, because change is coming.
Storm surge. After Gustav, thousands start heading home, despite uncertainty about what they'll find when they get there. Case closed. The most compelling study yet finds no connection between autism and the vaccine for measles, mumps, and rubella. And women and work. The debate sparked by Sarah Palin's selection. Can she be vice president and a mother of a newborn? Is it fair?
From ABC News, this is World News with Charles Gibson. Reporting tonight from St. Paul.
Good evening. John McCain has come to St. Paul to take charge of the convention that will formally nominate him for the presidency of the United States tonight. McCain landed here just before lunchtime, greeted at the airport by his wife and 7 children and by his running mate, Governor Sarah Palin of Alaska, along with her husband and children. This afternoon, I sat down with the Arizona senator and we talked about the swirl of controversy that surrounds her. Controversy regarding her experience or lack of same. Senator, since I've been following politics, every single presidential nominee has said that the first quality they look for in a vice presidential pick is the capability and the readiness to take over as president. Can you look the country straight in the eye and say Sarah Palin has the qualities and has enough experience to be commander-in-chief?
Oh, absolutely. When I think people compare her experience and background and accomplishments, I mean, ethics and lobbying reform in a state that was beset by the influence of special interests, cutting taxes, giving the citizens back money. I mean, she's got an incredible resume, including a beautiful family and a wonderful, loving, caring family. So I will think that over time, people will compare her accomplishments with that of Senator Obama, and his are very meager.
But he's been vetted. 19 months he's been debating in front of this country. 18 million times in the primaries, people voted for him. With her, we have your say-so.
Well, the people of Alaska have vetted her. That's why she has an 80% approval rating. And again, I don't like to make these comparisons. She's had positions of responsibility and authority. In all due respect to my friend Joe Biden, he's never been executive of anything, nor has Senator Obama. I've commanded the largest squadron in the United States Navy with huge responsibilities. It was a leadership job, but it was also huge responsibility.
Can you honestly say you feel confident having someone who hadn't traveled outside the United States until last year, dealing with an insurgent Russia, with an Iran with nuclear ambitions, with an unstable Pakistan, not to mention the war on terror?
Sure, and one of the key elements of America's national security requirements are energy. She understands the energy issues better than anybody I know in Washington, D.C., and she understands that Alaska's right next to Russia. She understands that. Look, Senator Obama's never visited south of our border. I mean, please. So she is experienced, she's talented, she knows how to lead, and she has been vetted by the people of the state of Alaska.
But you criticized for a long time Senator Obama based on his lack of experience, in your words, in the foreign policy area. January 6th, I'm quoting you, Senator Obama does not have the national security experience and background to be president. Sarah Palin does?
I said that he didn't have the judgment. He doesn't have the judgment. He didn't have the judgment on Iraq. He still refuses to acknowledge that the surge has succeeded. I'm proud of her vision. I'm proud of her strength. And everybody knows energy is a key element in American strength and future. She knows how to address that issue.
You had many people to consider. Senator Lieberman, who has spent a lifetime in government. Governor Romney, who has had large executive experience. Tom Ridge, who has served in so many different capacities. And you feel she's more qualified than any of them?
Of course, I think overall she's by far the best candidate. I can look the country in the eye and say, this is a person who will bring change to Washington and start working for you and on your side. This is what we Americans want. They don't want somebody who is frankly necessarily gone to Harvard or an Ivy League school. She probably hasn't been to a Georgetown cocktail party. But you know what? She represents everything we want to see in government in America: change and reform and ethics and taking on the special interests. That's what people want today. That's what she has to offer. Tonight's performance, I think, will convince a lot of Americans, and a lot of this other stuff's going to go away immediately.
We talked with Senator McCain about other subjects as well, and we'll have more of the interview in a few moments. Well, there has been so much talking about Sarah Palin. Tonight, she gets to do the talking. It's hard to imagine a more dramatic moment for a convention speech of a vice presidential nominee. She's almost totally unknown to the country, and she gets one chance to introduce herself. John Berman got a preview of what she will say.
Charlie, tonight aides say Sarah Palin will flex her muscles on the issues of reform and experience. She'll talk less about her personal story. She'll talk about a love for all of her children, but she will not discuss her daughter's pregnancy. Most of all, they say, the speech will be forceful. Governor Sarah Palin took a good hard look this morning at the spot where she needs to deliver the speech of her life.
Feel great, excited. Very excited, thank you.
Those were the first words we heard from her since the headlines started flying about her daughter's pregnancy and about her record in Alaska, which makes the next public words she speaks, the ones tonight, crucial.
This is going to be our first real chance to see how she addresses adversity. And for politicians and for people out there, that's a big thing, to see how you address bumps in the road.
How will she do it? By touting her own record and ridiculing Barack Obama's, saying, I guess a small-town mayor is sort of like a community organizer, except that you have actual responsibilities. Plus, she will try to speak above what the McCain campaign and its conservative allies have decried as unfair treatment by the media.
Sarah Palin represents everything they hate.
They hope her personal story connects with voters, the way it seemed to last week when McCain first made his pick.
I was just your average hockey mom in Alaska. A hockey mom raising our kids.
Tonight, she must perform before an audience of more than 20 million people. Those who know her best, the Alaska delegation, say she's up to the task. How does she do under pressure?
Very well. She's poised, confident, and she speaks from the heart. So that's why she can come and deliver like she needs to deliver.
Usually in politics these days, campaigns try to lower expectations. Not this time. One McCain aide told me Sarah Palin has to hit this speech out of the park tonight. This aide also added, she will. Charlie.
John Berman, who is down on the floor of the convention this evening, and our chief Washington correspondent, George Stephanopoulos, joins me here in St. Paul. This speech gets a whole lot of attention.
Boy, it sure does.
It certainly will sell well with delegates because they obviously want to support. But is the campaign worried about how this is playing around the country?
No question about it. And what they're hoping is that, and they do think she's going to perform well tonight, as John just said, they hope it creates a filter for all the questions that they know will keep on coming. This staff is as spun up as I've ever seen them about the press treatment right now. They know that more is going to be coming, but they're hoping that if she performs well tonight, she'll have some give with the public.
But is the real hurdle here, or is it in the days to come?
Of course it's in the days to come, because unless she can put to rest these questions, not about her family, but about her qualifications, about her judgment, about her experience, then she could be a drag on this ticket.
And what else do we get tonight? The keynote speech is tonight, Rudolph Giuliani.
I think we get a little more red meat tonight. The Republicans were a little ginger yesterday about going after Barack Obama. You saw some indirect allusions to him in most of the speeches. I think tonight will be much more direct, maybe with some wit, but very tough, especially from Giuliani.
Well, Fred Thompson last night gave a tough speech, but interestingly, he never mentioned
Didn't
Barack
use his
Obama
name.
by name.
We might see the name tonight.
I suspect. All right, George Stephanopoulos, thanks very much. Our conversation with John McCain on the eve of his acceptance speech touched on far more than his vice presidential choice. Here's more of our interview this afternoon. What are you going to say tomorrow night to make your case?
I think we've got to make a case that I'm ready, that I put my country first, and it's time to put aside partisan rancor and differences and work together for the country, and that I can create jobs and restore our economy and keep our country safe.
Barack Obama was very direct in his acceptance speech of his criticisms of you. Will you do likewise?
I think, I think we will point out some of the differences, but I think the important thing right now is to tell Americans why I can restore our economy, get them affordable and available health care, a decent education, get these jobs back and get our economy going again, as well as keeping our nation secure.
He spent a lot of his speech in criticism of you. It doesn't sound like you're going to spend as much from what you say going at him.
Well, I'm not sure the American people won't get enough of that in the next 62 days. I think it's more important. And then also, as you know, we've got a spectacular running mate here that has really captured America and certainly aroused a great deal of interest. So I'm hoping to do as well as she does tonight.
Did you watch the Obama acceptance speech?
I watched excerpts from it, yes. And it was very eloquent.
Your wife said she was offended when he said it's not that John McCain doesn't care, it's because he doesn't get it.
Oh,
you feel the same?
Family members are always very sensitive, and we all know that. Look, this is a tough business that we're in. Everybody understands that, and I admire and respect Senator Obama. We're going to have a very tough campaign, and I understand that. I'm sure that everybody in my family does too.
Curious reaction to his statement. John McCain says he'd follow bin Laden to the gates of hell, but he won't even follow him to the cave where he lives.
Well, look, President Clinton had opportunities to get Osama bin Laden. President Bush had opportunities to get Osama bin Laden. I know how to do it, and I'll do it.
And it's the first time I've had a chance to talk to you since you said about Barack Obama, he would rather lose a war in order to win a political campaign. Do you stand by that? That's a very, very strong statement.
I mean, it's very clear that he lacks the judgment in order, and he went.
It's not judgment you talked about. Okay. You made a very declarative statement. Yeah. He would rather lose a war. You didn't say judgment when you said that.
I'm saying that what he did was motivated by political reasons. He took the position that he did for political reasons to get the far left of his party's support and win the nomination of his party. And now, incredibly, he still refuses to acknowledge that the search has succeeded.
Senator John McCain, in our conversation this afternoon, he will be nominated by the Republican Party at the convention tonight. And you heard him point out just 62 days until America votes. He knows the number exactly. Still ahead on World News from St. Paul, frustrated hurricane evacuees begin heading home. Getting out of town was relatively easy. Getting back is hard. The strongest evidence yet that there is no link between a common vaccine and autism. Is it enough to end the doubts? And Sarah Palin touches a national nerve. What some women have to say about motherhood, work, and having it all.
This is World News with Charles Gibson. Brought to you by Transitions.
In my work, I depend on my eyes to capture the natural wonder of this planet. That's why I wear Transitions lenses. They adjust to changing light and help protect my eyes from UV damage, like sunblock protects my skin.
Ask your eye care professional today about Transitions lenses. To learn how Transitions lenses can help protect your family's eyesight, go to our website or stop by a Sam's Club Optical near you.
Have you heard about Miralax? It's a different kind of laxative that's kind to your body.
Miralax relieves constipation with no bloating.
No cramping.
And now, no prescription.
Restore your body's natural rhythm with Miralax.
Townhouse Toppers. The only cracker with raised edges. To keep dip in its place. Townhouse Toppers, part of the Townhouse family. When it comes to toppings, we've got the edge.
Here's something to celebrate. A new Applebee's Neighborhood Value. Endless favorites starting at $9.99. Choose from sweet and meaty riblets, panko-crusted shrimp, or golden delicious chicken tenders. Your choice, all you can eat, starting at $9.99. Be ashamed not to have a cold beer with that. It's an all-you-can-eat dinner, but you gotta hurry. Endless riblets, shrimp, or chicken tenders, starting at $9.99. Only at Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
Back to school. Here we go again. In addition to my job, I'm back to being a drill sergeant, a chauffeur, a personal shopper,
Back to school stress can weaken your body's defenses. So drink Dan Active. Only Dan Active has L-Casein Immunitas cultures and is clinically proven to help strengthen your body's defenses.
So I can do the job I like best, be a mom.
Get ready for back to school now.
Tropical storm Hannah is now swirling over the Bahamas after causing deadly flooding in Haiti. Forecasters say Hannah is likely to strengthen into a hurricane again before aiming at the U.S. coast by the weekend. And Ike strengthened into a hurricane this afternoon, expected to reach the Bahamas and Cuba early next week. President Bush was in Louisiana today touring the damage caused by Hurricane Gustav. He called the response excellent, but said there's more work to be done. Today, officials decided to allow almost 2 million hurricane evacuees to return home. But no one is making any promises about what they'll find when they get there. ABC's Steve Osunsami is in New Orleans.
This morning, on the roads leading into New Orleans, it was mass confusion.
Who could come in, who couldn't come in, whether you had the right credentials or the wrong credentials.
Residents who were told it was safe to come home met roadblocks instead. At daybreak, New Orleans was the only place that refused to let residents in.
What are they going to do? Check back into a hotel and say we want a FEMA room? There's no place for these people to go. They've got to come home.
The police held the lines for hours until they finally gave up, and soon traffic was flowing in. It's been a long road home, and many residents are still on that road. Many of the thousands who were bused to shelters north of the city will be staying put. There are more than 500 buses to gather, load, and drive back home.
I'm guessing that it would be a week, and not a 5-day week, but a 7-day week before we would expect to have everybody back.
Lake Charles, Louisiana.
For families who drove, it still wasn't easy. This gas station had a line a mile long.
It took me 2.5 hours to get in the parking lot.
And for those who made it home, there was no power, no food, no air conditioning, no water.
The roof leaked.
Jay and Elodie Barone say they're never leaving again.
I promised my wife I'd leave. This was my first and last time I'm leaving.
Cynthia Hamilton, who lives in the lower 9th Ward, ran out of money and had to sleep in her car.
Whatever God's will. I'm not running no more. I'm not running.
She says the city will now have trouble convincing residents to evacuate.
I'll dog paddle my way all through the 9th Ward. I'm not giving up. I'm not running anymore.
For a city that evacuated so well, the return home is not proving to be so easy. Steve Osunsami, ABC News, New Orleans.
Overseas, inside Pakistan today, the U.S. carried out a cross-border raid on a village near the Afghan border. The unprecedented attack involved about 40 special operations troops on the ground and in the air. U.S. officials tell ABC News a small number of militants were captured or killed. Pakistan called the raid a gross violation of its territory. President Bush has announced a $1 billion aid package for the nation of Georgia to help that country's recovery following the Russian invasion. The money will be used to resettle families who were displaced and help rebuild the country's economy. Up next, the new study debunking any link between autism and a widely used vaccine.
Steaming is such an important part of fresh Asian cuisine.
It unlocks the intricate flavors of ingredients.
Like spicy red peppers and zesty oranges.
But not everyone has a bamboo steamer.
That's why we created new Asian-inspired Healthy Choice Cafe steamers.
Our innovative steamer cooks right in your microwave to bring out the fresh taste.
For tender chicken and fluffy rice in a delicious sweet and spicy sauce.
New Asian-inspired Healthy Choice Cafe steamers in 4 authentic recipes.
How does America break the grip of foreign oil? I've got a plan. You've heard me say it starts with wind, and that's half the answer. Step 2 is to begin replacing gasoline made from foreign oil with America's natural gas for our cars and trucks. You've all seen buses or cabs that run on natural gas. It works. Better yet, it's cleaner than gasoline. It's safer, and it's produced in America. So our money stays here. It's not a permanent answer. Eventually, we want our cars to run on electricity and clean, renewable fuel cells. We need renewable fuels for transportation. but the technology's not there yet. Natural gas is the bridge. It quickly reduces our dependence on foreign oil and it buys us time to develop alternative fuels that will break the stranglehold of foreign oil forever. I'm T. Boone Pickens. Join with me and we'll take back our energy future.
The first time I had Silk, my boyfriend said, "Oh, I found this. It's called Silk. I think it looks kind of good. Let's give it a shot." We literally sat down like we were in the taste test and ate it with our cereal. It was good. It was cold. It was good in the cereal. It gave kind of like the bland, healthy cereal a little bit of like a, like a little bit of personality. It is such an easy thing you can do to start getting healthier.
Silk has soy protein, antioxidants, and omega-3s, plus all the calcium and vitamins A and D of milk. Silk. Take a step forward.
A study out this evening offers the most powerful evidence yet that there is no link between autism and the MMR vaccine given to millions of children to protect them against measles, mumps, and rubella. Researchers at Columbia University say this study provides strong evidence against any association. ABC's John McKenzie reports on the latest findings.
Weeks before Arthur Anderson showed signs of autism, he had chronic stomach problems. His parents believe both were linked to the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine.
He was sick during the shots. He remained sick. He began having GI problems. He began losing language and losing the ability to maintain eye contact. And then he was diagnosed with autism.
This autism hypothesis, which has been around for the last 10 years, suggests that the MMR vaccine, which is a tiny bit of live virus, can cause inflammation in the intestines. And that can result in toxins leaking into the bloodstream and damaging the developing brain. The results out this evening say unequivocally, not true.
We find no evidence to support a link between a measles vaccine, intestinal difficulties, and autism.
Researchers reporting in the Public Library of Science found no trace of the virus in the vast majority of the autistic children studied. In fact, most of the children, it turned out, had the intestinal problems and signs of autism before they even received the measles vaccine.
This study really is the nail in the coffin to the hypothesis linking MMR to autism.
The reason these studies are so critical is that more and more worried parents are refusing to have their children vaccinated. Of the 123 Americans with measles this year, nearly 90% were people unvaccinated. Researchers hope this latest study reassures families that the measles vaccine is indeed safe. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
Our medical unit has details of this new study, along with information on vaccines and resources about autism. You can find it all at our website, abcnews.com. And up next, Sarah Palin, proving to be a lightning rod for questions about women and work.
Want to know a secret? Some grown-ups don't eat all their vegetables. Some adults don't start their day with breakfast. And there are even some otherwise intelligent people who don't always eat right. For all of you, there's Ensure, complete balanced nutrition shakes loaded with food, energy, and 24 vitamins and minerals. So even if you don't always eat right, you can still eat smart. Drink Ensure in 5 irresistible flavors. It's nutrition for a healthier you.
We can't promise that it will get you a raise, help the kids get along, make you look thinner, solve neighborhood disputes, or train the puppy. But Stainmaster Carpet does last up to 50% longer and stay up to 30% cleaner than other carpets, adding more comfort and style than ever to your home. And that's gotta make life a little easier. Discover the new Stainmaster Carpet at a Stainmaster Flooring Center near you.
Nasal allergy symptoms like congestion can occur at any time, and it's hard to avoid the things that cause them. Prescription Nasonex helps relieve nasal allergy symptoms, like congestion. Maybe that's why 6 million nasal allergy sufferers used Nasonex last year.
Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
For more information, talk to your doctor and ask if Nasonex is the one for you.
Townhouse Toppers. The only cracker with raised edges. To keep dip in its place. Townhouse Toppers, part of the Townhouse family. When it comes to toppings, we've got the edge.
Ready to do the darling?
Ready, rich.
Wednesdays this fall. With this much money, the Darlings are playing with fire.
Are you prepared to let them get away with murder?
ABC's Dirty Sexy Money. Season premiere Wednesday, October 1st, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Tomorrow night, her husband accepts his party's nomination, but tomorrow morning, Cindy McCain talks to Diane Sawyer about what he will say and the questions around Sarah Palin.
I think it's insulting.
If it's positively politics, it's positively Good Morning America.
Finally tonight, in the 5 days since Sarah Palin was introduced as John McCain's running mate, her selection has sparked countless conversations and debates, many centered on women, work, and family. 15,000 of you have posted comments on our website, and I read many of them today. Some question whether Sarah Palin can do it all. Many wonder if it's even fair to ask. Here's Betsy Stark.
For women all over the country, Sarah Palin is not just a politician running for high office. She's a working mother of 5, including a pregnant teenager and a baby with special needs, trying to have it all.
You feel comfortable that she's able to do it all?
I do. I don't either.
4 women we gathered, 2 for Obama and 2 for McCain, reflect the raw feelings Palin's candidacy has stirred.
Is it just too much for one person to do well?
I think she can do it. I mean, I think you have to have good help behind you, but I feel like
good support group.
Good support group.
But
and
do
I
we
think
know
she
what
does.
kind of? She's willing to shortchange her family. That's her business. Don't shortchange the nation, and that worries me.
Right?
Clearly, Governor Palin is channeling the deep ambivalence women feel about juggling a job and a family. 2 in 5 working women say families would be better off if the man earned the money and the woman stayed at home.
She's a Rorschach test for how we feel about our own lives. Have we made the right choices?
But former Massachusetts Governor Jane Swift, the first governor to give birth in office, says she thinks this debate reflects something else, a glaring double standard.
I don't think anybody asks guys how they can possibly be a good vice president or a good president and have young children.
As one viewer put it on abcnews.com, why isn't anyone questioning Obama's parenting skills? He surely isn't spending the kind of time with his children that most fathers do. When you look at who's supporting and who's criticizing Palin's choice to run, some say it's not what you'd expect.
Feminist groups you would expect to be out there defending Sarah Palin, saying, of course, a mom can work. You would expect conservatives to be out there saying, this is shocking, the children are being left alone. And in fact, neither one is behaving in the way that you would expect because of politics.
But whether you think she can or she can't, she should or she shouldn't, Sarah Palin has made her decision, and she seems determined to have it all. Betsy Stark, ABC News, New York.
So many conversations over so many dinner tables. That's World News for tonight. I'm Charlie Gibson in St. Paul. Stay tuned for our coverage of the Republican convention, including Governor Sarah Palin's address to the delegates. That is coming up next. I'm Charlie Gibson, and I hope you had a good day. For all of us at ABC News, have a good night.
Tonight on ABC, Sarah Palin. So much has been said about her this past week. Now, it's finally her turn as she gives the biggest speech of her life. What will she say? Turn to Charlie Gibson, Diane Sawyer, and George Stephanopoulos at the convention.
See it, shoot it, send it. When you capture breaking news on your camera or cell phone, email it to Eyewitness News and video at myabc7.com.
How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a screamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball-loving life.
Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
My name is Julie Clark, and this is for you, the kids in my classes. What you do
does make a difference. Global warming is a choice. It's our choice.
It's actually a million little choices that we make every day.
Like not wasting energy.
And as a family, we can make a huge difference.